We are live. Hey, how is it going? It is your Muscle After 40 coach, Lee Hayward. And in today's video, I'm going to be doing a live Q&A as always, but today is a special one because this is Black Friday. And right now we are having a special promo for the Muscle After 40 Blueprint Coaching Program. And I'm going to briefly chat about that and answer any questions that you may have about that because we are actually having a special on. This is something I've never done before. We're putting the program at a 50% special. So basically you sign up and we're going to double the program for you. So like if you sign up for a 1-month membership for the coaching program, you're going to get 2 months. If you sign up for a 3-month membership, you're going to get 6 months. If you sign up for 6 months, you're going to get a full year. So that's the way it works. We basically are doubling the coaching program for Black Friday. And this is something that I've never done before. So it's a great opportunity for those of you who've been sitting on the fence and wondering about what the whole Muscle After 40 Blueprint program is all about. Then this would be a great opportunity to jump in, try it out for yourself, and to see what the buzz is all about. Because this is the program that has been producing a lot of results. I've been sharing them, especially over on the Facebook group. If you've been following me over there, I've been sharing a lot of the success stories from the guys who've been going through the Muscle After 40 Blueprint program, and it is hands down. It's basically a compilation of all the best stuff that I've accumulated over the past 30 years, put together into a step-by-step action plan. And I can't say, it's basically what I follow right now in order to not only get lean, but stay lean and do so without feeling like I'm suffering it out on a diet. So it's all about sustainability and actually enjoying a lean lifestyle. So that's what the whole Muscle After 40 program is all about. So I'll be sharing some more about that. And of course, I'll be doing some live Q&A. So that's the way these video chats work. So if you have any questions that you would like to ask related to fitness, nutrition, building muscle, losing fat, anything specific with regards to your workouts, your program, or anything like that, feel free to type those into the chat box there, and I'll do the best that I can to help you out over the course of our video chat today. And also, let me know who's tuning in, right? I'm going to be just addressing everything throughout the chat here today. So I know we got Dan tuning in. First off, I'm assuming that this is coming through loud and clear. I normally do my audio and video check at the start. So if you can hear me and you can see me and this is coming through loud and clear, just give me a thumbs up. We got Jose joining in from Texas. Welcome, Jose. Again, nice to see you. I know we got a lot of regulars to the chat. And if you're a regular, that's cool. I always like to have regulars joining in. And if you're brand new and never tuned into one of these chats before, then welcome. Nice to have new people tuning in, right? Join the family. Join the Total Fitness Bodybuilding family, right? This channel's been around for quite a while, and of course, a lot of the regulars tuning in each week. We've got Lee joining in. We've got Dan saying loud and clear. We got Kamal joining in. Welcome, gentlemen. Glad to have you joining in again. Glad to chat to you. I recognize a lot of the regulars. So again, if you do have any questions or topics of discussion, feel free to post those into the chat window, and I'll do the best I can to help you out over the course of our chat today. And just out of curiosity, have you taken advantage of any Black Friday fitness specials that may have popped up? Like a great opportunity possibly to get some home gym exercise equipment or maybe some workout gear or anything along those lines. If you did pick up some good deals today, let me know. It'd be interesting to see what kind of things you've managed to find on Black Friday, because it is usually one of the biggest sale days of the year. We have Fotis joining in from Athens, Greece. Fotis, I think it is. If I'm mispronouncing your name, I do apologize, but welcome. Glad to have you tuning in. We have YT joining in. All right. YT is saying, after Thanksgiving, I'm 2 pounds heavier today, despite doing 2 hours of walking yesterday. Is it just water weight? Lifted as well? Could it be muscle? How can one tell? It's water. Anytime your weight fluctuates rapidly, like you gain 2 pounds, you lose 2 pounds, it's water. You cannot physically gain or lose muscle or fat that fast. Like to lose 2 pounds of body fat, that's 7,000 calories. You would have to create either a 7,000 calorie surplus or be in a 7,000 calorie deficit to burn 2 pounds of pure body fat. You didn't do that, right? You didn't consume an excess of 7. Well, I'm assuming you didn't, unless you were drinking, vegetable oil and chowing down spoonfuls of sugar, to create the 7,000 calorie surplus yesterday. But most likely it's water. And the way it works is when you consume excess food, especially excess carbohydrates, and those carbohydrates get stored in your body as glycogen, they retain a lot of water. For every gram of stored glycogen, you're going to retain 3 to 4 grams of water. So if you ate a lot of carbs yesterday, it was Thanksgiving. So, I mean, you had your mashed potatoes and gravy and your pumpkin pie and whatever treats and goodies, was on the menu for Thanksgiving Day dinner. All those carbohydrates, I mean, that gets absorbed into your body. They all suck on water because the stored glycogen retains then 3 to 4 grams of water. So if you just consumed, an extra, 200 or 300 grams of carbohydrates, and then you multiply that by 3 to 4, grams of water, that's where the extra weight comes from. It's not body fat. It's just water weight being pulled in through the excess intestinal bloat, but the excess glycogen that's being stored in the body, and then the water retention that goes along with it. Now, if you continue on eating a calorie surplus, yes, that will become stored body fat, but the short-term spikes and lows that you get, it's water retention. And vice versa. Like if somebody goes on a diet and they say, oh, I went on a diet and I lost 2 pounds today. No, you didn't lose 2 pounds of body fat. You lost 2 pounds of water retention and intestinal bloat and just gunk getting out of your system. That's what it is. It's not actual body fat. Once you get beyond that initial phase, and you realize the fluctuations, then you'll start to see the real fat loss progress happening. But the initial gain or loss that you see, it's mostly just water weight, intestinal bloat, stuff like that. That's it. Even if you exercise and all that, I mean, you can't cancel it. Like, okay, you walk for 2 hours. I mean, depending on how big you are and how fast you walk and everything else, you may have burned, like if you're really big and you walked really hard, you may have burned 1,000 calories, which, I mean, obviously that's a significant amount. But if you had a binge day of eating on Thanksgiving, you can easily compensate for that 1,000 calories that you burned walking. And if you just did a casual stroll and you're a smaller individual, you might have only burnt like 500 calories walking. Like, it really depends. Like, when people say I did like X amount of cardio, how many calories you burn depends on like how hard you're working, how big you are. There's a lot of variables. Like, just simply saying I did cardio. Like, if your idea of cardio is just scuffing your feet, casually strolling around, like, you're not going to burn a lot. You may burn 200 or 300 calories in an hour. Whereas if you're pushing it hard or you're hiking a hill or something very intense and you're out of breath and you're sweating and you're exerting yourself and your heart rate's elevated, well, then you could be burning 500 calories or more per hour. So it really depends on the intensity of the cardio. But still, 2 hours of cardio is not going to cancel out a full Thanksgiving day of holiday goodies. Put it that way. It helps, right? It helps, but it's not going to cancel everything out. But the good thing is once you get back on track again, like after a few days, you'll be back to your normal weight again, and then possibly even, hit some new personal records. And this is something that you need to realize. Your weight is always fluctuating. Like, a lot of people don't realize it because they're not tracking it consistently enough. But if you weigh yourself first thing in the morning, after a night to sleep, you're dehydrated, you're fasted, you wake up, you go to the bathroom, do your pee, and then jump on the scale and weigh yourself, generally you'll be the lightest body weight of the day. And then as you're eating and drinking and consuming food and calories and everything else over the course of the day, you will gain weight, right? All that food and water weight is weight, right? It adds up. And then by the evening when you go to bed, you'll typically be at your heaviest, right? That's generally how it goes. Now, if you do a lot of exercise in between and you're sweating and everything else, that can affect your weight. But everybody's going to have fluctuations in their weight. I gain and lose about 5 pounds over the course of 24 hours. And it all depends on my exercise and my nutrition consumption and everything else. But it's not uncommon to see a 5 pound fluctuation over the course of 24 hours. So you got to get that out of your mind. Like, a lot of people see these short-term fluctuations and they freak out thinking that they're gaining fat or losing muscle or vice versa or whatever. It's just water weight. It's just the way your body works. What you want to do is, if you're looking at your average weight, take your weight every single day. Like, this is for those of you who are tracking your body weight and you want to avoid freaking out, because there's two schools of thought when it comes to weight tracking. You have those who never do it because they're scared of the scale and they're scared of the numbers and they freak out over it. And then there's those who are obsessed over it and they're always doing it. Well, this is how you want to do it if you're the ones who are obsessed over it and you're always weighing yourself. You want to weigh every single day and average that weight out. So like just say Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, every day of the week, jump on the scale at the same time each day and weigh yourself. Right? And just take that number and write it down. And then at the end of the week, divide all those numbers by 7 to get your average weight for the week. And that will be a great way to really track your weight and track your averages for the week versus the day-to-day fluctuations. Because, for example, like let's just say Friday is weigh-in day after a pig out on Thanksgiving. Well, you're going to be heavier on your Friday weigh-in day today because you just have all that food and water and glycogen stored in your system. Whereas it doesn't necessarily mean that you may have still made progress. You may have actually made really good progress, especially if you had a full week of clean eating and regular exercise and everything else. But the numbers will be skewed because today is a high spike day. But if you average it out over the course of the week, you may actually come out in a deficit. You may actually have, end the week with an overall loss in body weight. Right. So you need to look at the averages, not getting freaked out over the spikes and the highs and the lows. Let's see what else we got there. We have Gamal joining in. He says that he got some more resistance bands and some deals on some kettlebells. Awesome. Good stuff. Resistance bands are one of the best things that you can get for a home gym. I mean, they're so convenient. They're so inexpensive. They're so versatile. I recommend everybody have a set of resistance bands. Like I use them myself for home workouts, but if you're traveling, they are a must-have. Because you can work out virtually anywhere, right? If you're in a hotel room, you're in an Airbnb, you're on a camping trip, like you can work out pretty much anywhere and get in a darn good workout with resistance bands. I mean, and they're so portable. I mean, heck, you can throw them in a suitcase. They take up hardly any space or weight. They're awesome. I definitely recommend them. But good for you, Gamal. That's awesome. He says, can you give us a glimpse of the Muscle After 40 blueprint? Like, what do we have? Nutrition training program, and if it includes home training supplements, so we take a wider vision. Awesome. Great question. And I'm glad you asked. The Muscle After 40 blueprint, it's not a cookie cutter system. Like we do have some tools that we use, but it is a customized coaching program specific to the individual. So the way the program works, first off, it's application only. I just don't accept anybody into the program. Like we'll literally sit down and we'll have a detailed conversation, maybe even have a couple conversations in order to get to know you, your situation, your challenges, what it is that you're trying to achieve, what you've got available for exercise equipment, whether that's home gym, commercial gym, whatever, your food likes and your dislikes, your work schedule, your sleeping schedule, your eating habits, and all this kind of stuff. Like I want to know you, and we'll sit down and we'll have a detailed conversation. Like very often these conversations are 45 minutes or more, like just talking about you and what it is that you want to achieve. And if I feel that I can help you to achieve your fitness and fat loss goals, then I'll invite you to come on board with the Muscle After 40 blueprint. If I feel I can't help you, like maybe you got challenges that are way too big or stuff that's outside my realm of expertise or whatever, then I'll try and recommend some outside resources. Because I mean, I've got a big network of people in the health and fitness industry that I can refer you to. In some cases, I just have to refer you to your family doctor. Like I literally have had that happen before, where people have come to me who are just riddled with health issues, like illnesses and diseases, or I even had one gentleman one time came to me who had a kidney transplant and he needed a special diet to work around a kidney transplant. And like, that's outside my realm of expertise. Like I can't be responsible for tackling, health issues and stuff like that. Like that needs medical supervision, and I'm not a doctor. I'm not going to do medical supervision and blood work and kidney dialysis and all that stuff. That's hospital stuff, right? I'm going to help you with your fitness, your nutrition, your habits, and your lifestyle and your workouts. Like I'm going to help you with that stuff. So if I can't help somebody, I'm not going to BS them or give them false hope or anything like that. I just, I'm very, very upfront and blunt with that. So that's why I like to have a detailed conversation. Like I no longer offer, hey, sign up for a coaching program and I'll help everybody. I used to do that back in the day. I used to have just like website. Here's what I offer. Click here, buy now. And sometimes it would work, sometimes it wouldn't. But now I'm very particular about who I work with. Like, I do not want to work with anybody unless I'm confident that I can help them become a before and after success story. And if I'm not confident that I can help them become a before and after success story, or I'm not confident that they're going to take action and actually follow through, then I'm not going to give them false hope and BS. Like if you're just curious and you say, like, I'm going to sign up for the program and hope the program is going to magically work for me, even though I do nothing, don't even bother. It's like the people who in January, they sign up for a gym membership and hope the gym membership is going to get them in shape, even though they don't go. Like, no, it doesn't work that way. The gym membership only works if you go to the gym and you actually use it. Same with the coaching program. It only works if you actually use it. Simply signing up for the program doesn't do jack shit, right? So that's why I want to have a detailed conversation to make sure that it's actually a good fit. Once we have that, then I will customize a program specific to your situation. So if it's home workouts, we'll have a specific home workout program. If it's gym workouts, we'll have a specific gym workout. It's all tailored to your individual fitness level. And we've got guys in the program from all walks, from people who've been training for decades to people who haven't never stepped foot inside a gym before, and everything in between, right? Guys, most of them are guys who've been like on and off. I've been working out on and off for the past 10 years, and I really let myself go over COVID, and I put on an extra 30, 40, 50 pounds, and now I need to get it off and get in shape because now I got high blood pressure, high cholesterol. The doctor says I'm pre-diabetic, and I feel like shit, and I got no energy. Like, that's the typical, the guy that I talk to more often than not. That's the situation. And if that's you, then we'll come up with a customized plan to fit you and your situation. But like it's not a cookie cutter, like everybody has to do this, everybody does that. It's geared towards the individual, and that's why I like to customize it, and I put a lot of time and effort into this. So everybody gets their customized workout program. Same with the customized eating plan. Like, I'm not going to have everybody, hey, you got to eat boiled chicken and broccoli 6 times a day, right? Because that's going to get you shredded. Of course it'll get you shredded, but who wants to eat boiled chicken and broccoli 6 times a day? I sure don't. Right? So we'll put together a customized eating plan that fits around you, your schedule, your food likes and dislikes, and everything else. Because chances are, even if you're not eating super healthy, there's probably some healthier foods out there that you do enjoy, and we can incorporate those into your meal plan. If you have any food restrictions or allergies or things that you just don't want to eat, then we can work that into the plan as well. Right? So, I mean, again, the diet plan is customized. And then what we do is we do regular feedback and check-ins. This is critical because, like, you could hire the best trainers, nutritionists, coaches, dietitians, whatever. All they're going to do is give you an educated guess on what they think is going to work based on their experience. That's it. Like, you can go find the biggest YouTuber, the biggest fitness influencer, the Harvard University professor, dietitian, the whoever. He's going to give you an educated guess based on what he thinks will work for you on his experience. That's it. It's just a guess. It's only when we actually start working together one-on-one and seeing how your body actually responds in real time, that's where the coaching takes place. Like, here's your action plan. This is what you've been doing. All right, let's monitor the results and see how your body responds. Are we happy with these results? If we are, great. Let's keep doing that. If we're not happy, then let's go back to the drawing board, make some changes, and customize things as we go. And it's always a back and forth conversation. So, I mean, we'll have ongoing coaching calls, regular ongoing check-ins, back and forth through email and messenger and stuff like that. And another tool that I use as well is I have a customized coaching app just for my coaching students that you can actually use, which will have all your workouts logged on it. So every exercise, set, rep, everything that you need to do will be logged onto the training app. And this is customized to the individual. I'll personally design the workouts myself and put them onto the training app for you. And the cool thing is as you're entering those in, it also syncs up with my computer as well, right? So then I'll be able to log in and say, okay, Gamal did his workout today, and this is what he did. Here's the outline of his exercises, sets, reps, weights he lifted. I got a record of it all. So then when we're checking and doing follow-up and feedback, I don't need to ask you, hey, Gamal, did you work out today? I know if you worked out today. I got a record of it right here, right? I can log into my computer and I can actually see what you did. Also does the same thing with meals, right? You can log your food intake, so I know exactly what you're eating. And this helps to give us that open flow of communication so that when we're working together, I know what you're doing, and then I can help guide you and critique you, offer suggestions for improvement along the way. But it also helps to hold you accountable because now you're not just winging it and working out. You have someone who's actually following along with your progress along the way, right? So, I mean, it's a very back and forth open communication like that. So that's the crux of the program. And then, of course, we have other tools as well. Like, there's a whole bunch of extra bonus material that comes along with it. We've also have a private Facebook group for guys who are going through the program. And this way you can actually like follow along and see what other guys are doing. And a lot of the success stories that I feature up on my website, and that they're the regulars in there. And very often the more experienced guys are in there helping out the newer guys. So it creates that community and that brotherhood of like-minded guys who are going through this muscle after 40 journey together. And it's just an awesome community. And I got to say, the people who are part of it, like we're like a family. Like we stay in constant communication. We're there to help and support. And like if somebody hits a new personal victory or whatever, we're going to celebrate that. If somebody's struggling and needs some help, then as a group, we're going to help brainstorm and give them some strategies that they can work around it. And it just creates that whole camaraderie, you know, this muscle after 40 family. That's what it's like. And again, I can't say enough good stuff about it. Right? For those of you who are part of the program now, I mean, you know what I'm talking about. And if you want to get more information about it, feel free to reach out to me. You know, send me an email and we can have a chat and we can discuss it and see if you're actually a good fit. Because again, I only take people in on application only. I don't let any Tom, Dick, or Harry into the program. And no offense to any Tom, Dicks, or Harrys who are out there, right? You got to be a special Tom, Dick, or Harry, right, in order to get into the program. And that's the whole idea about it. I want to keep the quality and the standards high so that it's a supportive and encouraging group of guys who are there to pull each other up, not a bunch of haters and trolls and shit disturbers who are just there to tear each other down. So that's what it's all about. If you have any questions, feel free to email me and we can chat. And I got my email address in the description of this video below, so you can open that up. It's leeh@leehayward.com. What else we got there? Lee Dunnigan says, thanks for the advice you gave last week on the live chat. I had my first strongman competition. I was a bit nervous, and you said relax and enjoy the day, and I did so, and I loved it. Lee, you the man. Cool. That is so cool. And you know what, Lee? I did see the video you posted up on Facebook when after you did that. You shared the video of, I believe it was the log lift. I mean, I don't know what other events you did or if that was what it was exclusively, but man, congrats on doing that. And again, glad my words of wisdom helped out. But I mean, obviously, you're the one who put in the training. But that's an important topic for sure, because very often when it comes to sports like powerlifting or anything where you have to perform on cue, you'll see a lot of times where guys can perform in the gym when there's no pressure, but some people, when the pressure is on, there's usually two types of people. Some rise to the occasion and actually perform at their best under pressure, and then others kind of cripple under pressure, and sometimes they bomb out. Now, of course, anybody can fall into any of these categories, but the general tendency, and I know from experience, I tend to be the person who rises up. Like the more stress, the more there's on the line, the more I get my shit together and the more I focus. Whereas if there's not as much stress, there's not as much on the line, I kind of get a bit slack and don't push myself as hard. So I actually thrive in a competitive environment, but I know some people actually find that it can actually derail their progress and they actually end up performing worse. But hey, I'm glad that you performed for your meet and you got a good result. So good for you, man. Looking forward to following along with your progress for the next one. We've got Stuart joining in. Says, Lee, I'm tracking calories and losing weight, but also losing body muscle mass, despite losing a fair bit of strength. Any ideas? Or sorry, despite doing a fair bit of strength training. I got that mixed up. So I'm tracking calories, losing weight, but I'm losing muscle mass despite doing strength training. Any ideas? That's a loaded question, because I really need to know more about like what it is that you're doing as far as nutrition and training and everything else to really break that down. It's almost like what I just explained when I was giving the overview of how the Muscle After 40 blueprint works. You're tracking things. That's good. So we have some feedback. We have some numbers there we can work on. What I would need to do then is I'd need to go back and see, okay, like what are you doing as far as the calories? What are you doing as far as the training and everything else? And we know the results, right? Obviously the weight is coming down, but it may be too aggressive of a calorie deficit. It may be a calorie deficit and you're not actually providing enough nourishment to fuel the body, right? Because one of the biggest mistakes a lot of people make when they go on a diet is they drastically cut their calories way too much too soon. And they create this big, massive calorie deficit. Now, yes, it works in the short term for losing weight quickly. And a lot of people get excited, especially people who are just focused on weight loss and they want to see the scale drop, right? They go on this crazy diet. Like I've seen guys like who might have a normal calorie maintenance of like 3,000 calories a day, they'll cut down to like 1,000 calorie a day diet, right? One meal a day, 1,000 calories a day or something like that. And then the weight just starts dropping. And then they're all excited. Oh, look at me, I'm losing weight. Yay. Yeah, but you're losing lean muscle tissue. Your strength and energy goes down the crapper. And it's only going to be a few weeks before you start feeling hungry and irritable, and you're not going to want to stick to it anymore. And then eventually those cravings are going to kick in, and then you're going to get the temptations to binge. And then when you do binge, you're going to beat yourself up over it and feel like a big piece of shit. And then because you beat yourself up over it and you're feeling down, you're going to go binge some more because you want some comfort food to make yourself feel better. And then it just creates that whole negative spiral. And this is the yo-yo diet syndrome over and over again, right? You go on this crazy, unrealistic diet, lose a bunch of weight, can't stick to it, binge eat, gain it all back, and then the cycle starts over and over again. Whereas we need to create a very slight calorie deficit. And again, that's individual for each person, right? I mean, I can't just look into a crystal ball and say, you need to eat X number of calories with X number of macros and blah, blah, blah. It really depends on you, your body type, your lifestyle, your activity level, all that kind of stuff. But chances are, just based on what you're sharing with me now, my gut reaction is it's probably too big of a calorie deficit. That's why you're losing weight and you're also losing muscle mass. And we need to adjust that accordingly. And there's different ways and strategies to go about it. Like sometimes in cases like that, we could actually incorporate a type of cycle diet where like maybe it's a calorie or carbohydrate cycle plan where you strategically go through phases of high, medium, and low. And this can actually help to increase your metabolic rate while simultaneously losing body fat and building lean muscle in the process. It's almost like condensing a bulking and cutting phase into the course of a week, right? So, I mean, that's one strategy we can look into, but there's a lot of stuff. I mean, if you want some help with it, feel free to send me a message and, we can chat about and brainstorm some ideas and see if we can come up with an action plan that works for you. And if you're a good fit, then I might invite you to come on board with the Muscle After 40 Blueprint. What else we got there? Gamal is asking, what's my opinion on TRX suspension training? I think they're a cool tool. Like it's just another tool in the toolbox. Now, pros, they're inexpensive. They're convenient, right? I mean, you can like almost like the resistance bands in that way. I mean, you can take them anywhere and you can do a lot of cool exercises with them. The con is it relies on body weight. So that's the biggest con to suspension training. You have to use your body weight. And the problem with that is your body weight is not adjustable. Well, it is to a degree because you can kind of leverage it. But like, for example, if you're doing like TRX push-ups or you're doing, different types of rows and exercises like that, you have to be able to lift your entire body weight or do so in a restricted range of motion. And it's not always practical for some people, but for an advanced lifter, they can provide some really cool variations. Like one of my coaching students, Jeff, he's not using TRX straps, but he's using gymnastic rings, which from a practical point of view is basically the same thing. Like gymnastic rings have been around forever. They're like the original one. If you want to look at it from a practical point of view, like TRX straps are kind of like a knockoff of gymnastics rings, which have been around since they're as old as dirt, right? And then, of course, now there's a lot of knockoffs of the TRX straps as well. But they all basically do the same thing. They're just suspended handles, right? That's all it is. But my coaching student, Jeff, like he's doing a lot of body weight exercises using the gymnastics rings now. And he's making some really good gains, like doing like dips with the gymnastics rings, doing pull-ups with the rings, various row variations and stuff like that using the rings. And he's gotten really strong with those rings. And you can see like the muscle development is really carrying over into his physique because he's getting stronger with those exercises. And when you use like straps or gymnastic rings, whichever, means the same thing, you really get a lot of neuromuscular activation, because they're unstable. They bring in a lot of stabilizer and supporting muscles. So like doing push-ups or dips on rings or straps will give you a lot more muscle activation than doing push-ups and dips either on floor or on a solid dip station. Same with the pull-ups. Pull-ups on the rings or on the straps, way harder than pull-ups with a pull-up bar. Now, pull-ups with a pull-up bar is hard enough for most people. But doing them on the straps just takes it to another level because, again, the muscular activation and the stabilization that needs to come into play. There's a higher level of neuromuscular activation. So it's a great advanced training tool, but it's from a beginner's point of view, it's not really that applicable. Like I would never take someone who's never exercised before and have them start off on suspension strap training. I would have them go through some basic exercises first, you know, ideally machine exercises, you know, and go through that to build up their fitness and their work capacity. And then we can gradually build in some more body weight and advanced exercises as their fitness level and strength improves. What else we got? John is saying creatine doesn't put weight on the scales. Creatine doesn't put weight on the scales. A lot of people say when you start supplementing creatine, it will cause water retention and cause you to gain weight. I've never ever noticed that personally. I've went through phases of taking creatine. I've went through phases where I've come off creatine and then went back on it. I find creatine doesn't cause my weight to fluctuate much. I've really never noticed that. Now, in some people it may, but it's minuscule. Like if at most you might have a couple pounds. And the way it is with creatine is like once you saturate your body with creatine and you have adequate creatine stores within the muscles, then that's it. You just need to sustain it. It's not like you're going to just keep retaining more and more and more, and your body's just, the creatine levels are just going to keep on going up and up and up. It's one of those things, like once you have enough, then your body will maximize its benefits. It's almost the same as like taking vitamins or minerals. Like you only need to have enough to sustain healthy levels. You don't need like super compensate and have excessive amounts of it. But I've personally have never seen much weight gain from creatine, and I've never noticed much weight loss from not taking creatine. So like in my case, I just use creatine year round. Like I've tried cycling it on and off and going through the loading phases and all that crap back in the day. Now I just take a maintenance dose year round. So like probably 5 grams of creatine daily, just the same as I take my multivitamins daily. And I use that whether I'm in a mass building phase, a lean gain phase, a fat loss phase. Like even when I was getting ready for my bodybuilding competition that I did back in July, I was taking creatine right up to the show. I didn't stop it because I didn't find it affects my water or weight at all. And in fact, what I do find with creatine is it can actually help maintain lean muscle tissue while you're losing body fat. So in like this is actually, I'm going to piggyback this one off Stuart's question that he asked earlier. One strategy that we could implement to help prevent you from losing strength and losing muscle while you're dieting for fat loss is to supplement with creatine. That will help to ensure that you keep more muscle fullness as you're losing body fat. All right, it's just one of many strategies that we could implement, but that's one that you could literally start trying now if you're not already doing so. Alex is asking, do you think it's possible to lose weight and maintain / not lose muscles at the same time? Absolutely, it's possible. And it's even possible to lose fat and gain muscle. In fact, I was doing some coaching calls today with several guys in the Muscle After 40 Blueprint. And the common theme that we're seeing, losing body fat and building lean muscle and getting stronger. That's the general theme. That's what most guys want. They want to achieve a body recomposition. They just don't want to lose weight, meaning they're losing fat, losing muscle, losing strength, right? Nobody wants that, right? You want to achieve a body recomposition, means losing the body fat, i.e. the belly fat, lose the gut. But you also want to build muscle. You want to build muscle in the chest, the shoulders, the arms, the back. You know, you build the muscle in the right places, lose the fat in the right places, and improve your strength and energy in the process. That's what most guys want, and that's what we focus on with the Muscle After 40 Blueprint. It's not just a starve yourself, lose weight program, right? Which is, nobody wants that, right? We want to have a body recomposition program, and it's actually quite possible to do it. And one of the things that I always use as a benchmark, if your strength is going up and your body fat is going down, your waistline is going down, but then maybe your arm measurements are going up, like these are all good signs. And I was actually having a call with one of the guys today, Paul. And that's exactly what he has done. Since he started the program, he's lost 5 inches off his waist. He's put 1 inch on his arms. He's lost almost 20 pounds of body weight. And he's also increased his strength overall. So I mean, like full body recomposition. So built lean muscle, increased his strength, added 1 inch to his arms, and lost 5 inches off his waist, right? I mean, like he is a success story in the making. And I can't wait to feature his transformation once he goes through the program. What else we got there? No mo. Okay. Can an extremely overweight person get ripped? It depends. And it depends on what your definition of extremely overweight is. Like that's a very broad question. I mean, I've seen some overweight people get quite ripped, but what's extreme? Like, I'll give you a prime example of someone that I know personally, Steve Patterson. He went through the Muscle After 40 Blueprint program, and back in October of 2020 is when he started. He was 260 pounds. October 2021, exactly 1 year later, he weighed in at 159 pounds. He lost 101 pounds in 1 year of going through the Muscle After 40 Blueprint. And he went from 260 pounds with a roll of belly fat and looking and feeling like crap to now 159 pounds, visible abdominal definition, and in the best shape of his life. So, I mean, by weight loss standards, he was extremely overweight. Like, he was obese at 260 pounds. Now, by America standards, 260 pounds is not big. I've actually talked to people who think as long as I'm under 300 pounds, I'm skinny. Like, that's the standards we have, especially in America, right? I know other countries are catching up, but like, I think America is still one of the fattest countries in the world, if not the fattest. And the standards people have for weight is like really skewed. So I've literally talked to people who, oh, it's not that bad yet because I'm still under 300 pounds, right? When I get over 300 pounds, then I'll worry about losing weight. I'm like, what the frick? Like, you realize what you're doing to yourself? Like, that's not, you got to raise your standards, right? You got to raise your standards. So again, I don't know what you consider extremely overweight, but it is certainly possible, right? For some people. Now, if your idea of extremely overweight is someone, like the people you see on My 600-Pound Life, that reality show or whatever, are they going to get shredded six-pack abs? Probably not. Not without some drastic surgery or, cosmetic help or something or another. But your average obese person who's probably like 100 pounds or less overweight, yeah, they could certainly get ripped. There we go. Would you ever get into real estate? A lot of fitness YouTubers are getting into the field. I've been in real estate since 2005. I actually own and manage several rental properties. That's what I do in the real world outside of YouTube and online coaching. Like, I do my fitness thing on the internet because that's my passion. That's what I love to do. But, in the real world, in the brick and mortar world, I own and manage several rental properties here in Newfoundland. What else we got there? Do you think it's easier to get ripped than it is to gain muscle? And that's from John. It depends, but yes. All right. And this is why I say that. You go to any local bodybuilding competition or fitness model competition or physique competition, whatever. I mean, it's all the same thing these days. I mean, like, there's so many categories, but it's all, a physique competition of some sort. But you go to any local bodybuilding physique competition and you will see a lot of people who are lean and ripped and visible six-pack abs and in great shape. But you'll see very few or much fewer who are really big and muscular, who have like that thick, dense, mature muscle mass on their frame. Like, anybody within reason can lose a significant amount of fat and get ripped within a year or thereabouts. Like, prime example, I mentioned Steve Patterson. He lost 101 pounds in 1 year. Now, granted, that's above average results, right? The average person's not losing 100 pounds a year. Like, if the average person lost 50 pounds a year, that would still be phenomenal results. But in Steve's case, he went over and above, and he lost 100 pounds in 1 year and went from, sloppy fat to visible abdominal definition and in the best shape of his life. So, I mean, he made an amazing transformation. But it's realistic. Now, it would not be realistic for him to like put on 100 pounds of muscle in a year. Like, nobody's putting on 100 pounds of muscle in a year. I don't care what drugs or performance enhancements or genetics you have. It ain't happening. Like, you could lose 100 pounds of body fat in a year. Nobody's gaining 100 pounds of muscle in a year. Like, that's something you would gain over the course of a lifetime. And even then, that's extreme. Like, I've personally never gained 100 pounds of muscle in my lifetime, right? I've just never done it. Like, the average person, genetically normal, natural person, can realistically expect to gain about 50 pounds of muscle in their lifetime. 50 pounds of muscle is on average. Now, of course, there's going to be some exceptions to the rule. Some really big guys are probably going to gain more. You know, if you throw in performance enhancements in there, you probably gain a bit more. But like 50 pounds of muscle is like a realistic expectation over a lifetime. Right? I'm not talking about over a week, a month, a year, a lifetime. Right? That's what you can realistically expect. Whereas when it comes to fat loss, we know people, I'm sure you even know people who probably lost 100 pounds or more, right? Because it's quite possible to do it. You can lose fat a lot easier than you can gain muscle. So yeah, absolutely. All right, what else we got? No Mo, I got another question. Does newbie gains only apply to beginners, or can they still kick in after not training for many years? All right. All right. Newbie gains, right? That's a term that's thrown around in fitness circles and everything else, but like it's not. Let me unpack it. All right. Obviously, if somebody has never exercised before a day in their life, then anything that they do consistently will produce results. Right? Any type of exercise, any type of workout, any type of progression is going to produce results. Once you get beyond that initial eat right and exercise, and you maximize the amount of progress you can get from that, then you need to get more strategic. Now you need to start looking at different exercise variables, getting more particular with, you know, optimizing muscle stimulation, optimizing the nutrition and all that kind of stuff to get beyond the so-called newbie gains. But the same thing can apply for people who haven't trained for years. So like if you have someone who's been on and off for a while, and let's just say you've been off for several years, then the same approach applies again, because when your body is deconditioned, anything you do that's positive, meaning positive in terms of exercise stimulation, positive in terms of better nutrition choices, is going to be producing results. Like something is better than nothing, right? Like sitting on your ass watching Netflix and eating cheeseburgers versus going to the gym, exercising, doing cardio, and eating healthy food. Like what's better, sitting on your ass watching Netflix and eating junk, or going to the gym and eating healthy, right? Duh, right? Going to the gym and eating healthy is going to produce better results. So once you get past the eat right and exercise results, which is just the consistency, like the whole good enough, but good enough consistently, once you've maximized that, then we need to start looking into more advanced variables, like how can we optimize the training stimulation? How can we maximize the nutrition quality and all that stuff? But it still applies for even deconditioned people. So if somebody worked out back in the day and they haven't worked out for several years, then their body needs to be treated just like a newbie all over again, right? They need to build back up that base level of fitness. Now, the cool thing about this, though, if you had built an appreciable level of muscle mass in the past and then had some time off, whether that was time off due to an injury, whether it was time off just because you were lazy or whatever, or you blame it on the COVID, whatever your excuse is, if you were in shape in the past and then you got out of shape, it's actually easier to get back in shape, or at least get back to the previous level of fitness that you had, than it would be to gain it initially. So just to throw some examples and numbers out there, let's just say a guy was working out throughout his teenage years and his early 20s, and he dedicated 10 years of his life to going to the gym, and he built up, you know, a respectable muscular physique in his mid to late 20s. And then he took some time off and got out of shape, and, you know, raised a family, got a career, blah, 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 and everything else, and got the dad bod. He could actually, if he started training and eating right and everything else, followed a structured program, he could get back in shape a lot quicker than someone who was never in shape at all, right? Someone who was like starting brand new, say in their 40s, versus someone who used to be in shape back in the day who's starting again in their 40s. So someone who is starting again will be able to regain their previous level of fitness much quicker the second time around. Now, I'm not saying it's quick, as in like, hey, you're going to get in shape in a week or two, but what took him 10 years to originally get to, he might be able to achieve that within a couple of years. Like you can speed up the rate of progress the second time through. And this is known as muscle memory, because once you've achieved a certain level, it's easier to re-achieve that same level again, because your body has been there before, and it's actually easier to do. So that's a real thing. You've probably heard the term muscle memory before. And this is part of the reason why sometimes when you see before and after transformations, they're not true representation of before and after, because someone may have been in great shape at one time, got out of shape, and then got in great shape again. and they can get in great shape again a lot quicker the second time through. And I'll be totally transparent. This applies to me as well. Like if you look at my progress pictures, like in my recent Muscle After 40 transformation, it was easier for me to get back in shape because I had been in shape before, right? So I'll be totally transparent. Now, it doesn't mean that I didn't work hard to still get back in shape, but from a progress perspective point of view, if you took someone who's like never worked out before and then someone who has been in shape before, the person who has the previous experience is going to get better results and faster results the second time through just because they know what they're doing. And this really applies to anything. I mean, if you take someone, like, let's just take a totally different subject here. Let's take a musician. Let's say, you know, I used to play guitar and I studied music all throughout my college days and years, and I have a good background in music, but I didn't touch the guitar in the last 5 years. I didn't touch an instrument in the last 5 years. I could pick it up and learn it again much quicker than someone who's starting from scratch because I have that foundation. I have the knowledge. I was already there at one time. I know how to do it. I know music. I know rhythm and all that stuff. So to relearn it the second time would be a lot easier than for someone to learn it brand new the first time, right? So I mean, the whole muscle memory thing, it applies to everything, right? Someone who has experience in something, even if they haven't done it recently, they'll be able to pick it up quicker the second time around. There. All right. And I think that concludes all the questions that came through there. Awesome. All right. Well, we're done. So guys, I'm going to actually clue it up because I am flat out busy. I've got a lot of conversations to do. And actually people have been reaching out to me all day about the whole Muscle After 40 Black Friday special. So I've got a lot of emails, a lot of messages, and a lot of conversations to catch up on. So I'm going to clue this chat up. And just to let you know, if you would like some help with getting in your best shape, you would like some help when it comes to a customized fitness and nutrition program, and you feel like the Muscle After 40 Blueprint program might be a good fit, then reach out to me. We'll have a chat. And if it is a good fit, then I'll let you know. If it's not, then I will recommend some outside resources and people who can help you. So either way, you'll get some insights on what you should do next. But if you're interested in coming on board, then we do have a special on for the Black Friday weekend. So it starts today, and I'm going to have it continue on till Cyber Monday, as they call it, right? The whole Black Friday weekend special, where it's basically a 50% off special. So whatever you sign up for, we're going to double it. So you sign up for a month, you're going to get 1 month free. You sign up for 6 months, you're going to get 6 months free, right? We're doubling the program. So this is a great opportunity to come on board, save some cash in the process. Plus we're throwing in some extra cool bonuses. Today's fast action bonus, we're actually throwing in a free hard copy cookbook, which has over 120 recipes. And this is something that's going to make following a fat loss eating plan a lot more enjoyable, because one of the biggest problems most guys have is, you know, I go on a diet and the food tastes boring and I don't enjoy it and it's not satisfying, it's not filling, blah, blah, blah. Well, if you can have delicious and satisfying and tasty meals that are high in volume, filling and satiating, it makes it so much easier to stick to your fitness and fat loss program. And what we have is a hard copy book. It's not some digital download or nothing. It's a hard copy book, 274 pages that we're going to be sending you in the mail if you come on board with the program. And this is something that you can keep like as a resource in your kitchen, right? Have it there on the kitchen counter so you can follow along in real time as you're going through it. And it'll make following the program so much easier. So if you want a copy of that and you want to come on board with the program, feel free to send me a message. And as far as the pricing structure, we've got, someone's actually me that there. We've got different programs and different pricing structures, and it really depends on the level of service and how long a program you want and everything else. So we have a few different options, but it ain't cheap. I'll tell you that up front. It's not cheap. The base program starts at $500. So, I mean, if you're not willing to invest at least $500 into yourself, this ain't for you, right? But we have basic program packages starting there. And they go on depending on how long you want the program to go on for, and of course how much help and interaction you need. Like if you don't need a lot of help and you just kind of like want a done for you step-by-step plan to follow, obviously that's going to be a base level program. If you want a very detailed customized program, you want ongoing coaching calls and follow-up and communication, you want me to be on your ass to make sure that you're following through every day, obviously that's more, because it's more time intensive on my end. But just to throw it out there, the base program starts at $500. And if you're interested in coming on board with it, send me an email and we can chat and see what will be the right option for you, or if this is even a good fit for you, because I really don't know until I have a chat with you. All right, guys, I got to clue it up, and I will talk to you in a future video chat coming soon. So next Friday, same time, same place. Make sure to tune in to the Total Fitness Bodybuilding YouTube channel, and I will talk to you then. Take care. Over and out.